Hello and welcome back to Cars of Glasgow, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Vauxhall Grandland X, so stay tuned for this video. So if we start off with the front of the car, this is kind of the first big SUV that Vauxhall and Peugeot kind of made together. If I have a look from the side, you can kind of see the 3008 character lines. Obviously they share the same platform, engines, etc. Now that Vauxhall and Peugeot are all one kind of big family. The front end's got that signature Vauxhall look. So we get the Vauxhall Griffin in the UK, and it's obviously the Opel kind of Lightning in Europe, and the Holden is in Australia. This particular one is a kind of a luxurious look style wheel, I would say. They are 18-inch wheels, but they look a little bit of a nightmare to clean just because it's got its multi-spoke. I always think that's kind of the more spokes kind of make it look a bit more like a luxurious type of car. The car's locking itself, and we've got the wing mirrors folding in. Round the back, got nice tapered off wraparound rear tail lights. Almost gives me Alfa Romeo Stelvio vibes. What do you think? Just in the light department. If it focuses in again, there we go. And then we've got Grandland X thing. That seems to be Vauxhall's current design kind of marketing language. We've got X for like the Mocha X, and what's one the Mariva got replaced with? That's something X, I can't remember now off the top of my head, but anyway. To open the boot, there's a little button under here, or there's a button on the kind of Lamborghini looking emblem there, like so. Manual lift, as you can see, decent size boot space, definitely designed for like families in mind. Nice squared off area, room for a spare tyre or secret storage. But as you can see, it is huge, so that's going to be pretty decent for all your lights, maybe prams and shopping and all that kind of stuff. Seats can fold easily at a touch of a button up here. We've even got a 12-volt power outlet if you're going to be tailgating or having anything exciting, like a garden party or something with your car. Also got some tie-down hooks at the back, which is definitely handy for holding down loads if you're going to IKEA or something like that. And there's also little storage pockets down the sides. We do have a grab handle up here. I think if you get a higher trim model, it looks like you would get the automatic close button, because that looks like a blank button switch there. It's a little bit high, I would say, even for myself, and it's a bit weighty, but there we go. I like how Vauxhall have added these kind of grey bits around, a bit like the Evoque we reviewed, all around the car to give it that kind of SUV look. Jump in, typical Vauxhall fare. We're greeted with scratchy plastics, which is all, I would say, General Motors, but it's now Peugeot. But I was actually in a Peugeot 3008, and I thought that was a bit of exciting. Interior materials weren't too bad. So if we jump in, you do get a nice sitting up driving position when you sit in the car. Very thin A-pillars, which is good for visibility. Just give you a quick look around. There's your B pillar with the headrest, and then C pillar's got the little window at the back. Give a little bit of visibility. Wing mirrors are actually more car-like than SUV-like. They're not ginormous, but you can kind of see enough out of there. So this car still has a bladed switch key. We were back in 2005. Start the car up, clutch down, and that diesel unit comes to life. So we've got a nice kind of leather wrapped steering wheel with a little bit of silver trim down here. Quality is, again, okay. It's not the best, but at least it's a bit more soft touch here than it is in the door. Multifunction steering wheel, your controls for your volume and that on the right. Cruise control options on the left hand side. There you go, your limiter, reset, set, all that kind of good stuff. Right hand side here, you've got your wipers, so you can go up for auto ones and you can see it wiper activated, and again if you want it high or low. Left hand side, there's your indicators, and then pull that towards if you want it flash, or push it away once, like so. Automatic high beam. Gauge cluster itself kind of reminded me of a 2010 Audi with the white and red bits, but you've got a little LCD display screen in the middle there. And this little screen seems to be giving me the sat-nav direction just because the sat-nav is set at the moment. Fuel gauge, temperature for the engine, speedometer, and obviously your tachometer on the left, but being a diesel can't expect too much excitement to come through. But quite a small touchscreen here, especially by 2020 standards. It is fast and responsive, which is quite good, but as you can see, it takes a wee minute to work through once you're getting into a setting. But I don't want to go through all this, but basically all the same stuff. You just got your sat nav, your audio, and then the car stuff's all your safety stuff that I just showed you. Volume knob. Audio's not too bad. You've got little tweeters at the top of the doors and big bass down the bottom. Climate control here, rear defrost. A little bit of storage with a 12 volt power outlet and a USB port in there. You can also put your phone in there, nice and gripped. And then down below you've got your traction control, lane departure warning, all your safety stuff you can turn on and off. You've got electric parking brake, which is a nice feature to have in a modern car. 6-speed manual gearbox, the back for reverse, little sensors pop up, little graphic of the Grandland X. Nice, in the short throws, 5th and 6th, feel not too bad. Clutch is a wee bit heavy in this, but it's probably a relatively new car. Again, we've got a little bit of storage down here. A little armrest with a kind of shape for a big bottle you could probably put in if you're going on a big family trip. Armrest slides back and forth, which is nice. It gives you the option for extension there, if you're depending on the height of the driver or the passenger as well, so that's decent. To a Cars of Glasgow glove box. Softly damped, but not lined with fuzzy stuff, just hard scratchy plastic. In typical French fashion, we've got the fuse box taking up most of the glove box space. As you can see, overall materials in the car are nice kind of looking materials. You've got kind of almost looking like stitched plastic going across the dash, all down the middle, the centre console here, but that is all pretty naff scratchy plastic. Let's move all this driving rental car stuff out the way. As you can see, you've almost got like a diamond quilt looking material in the middle of the seats, which is a different contrast to the leatherette at the top of the headrest and around the side of the seats. And that wee bit insert there almost reminds me of a Porsche 911 Classic. It's a very interesting compliment to say, but that's what it looks like. The seats themselves, pretty comfortable. First impressions, just dropped my phone, but they're pretty comfortable. Well, they're kind of spaced out. You can feel the lumbar, everything is manually adjustable apart from the back. You can tilt it electrically, just that wee touch of a button on the side here, like so. But everything else is all manually pumped, like so. So there's your tilt button for the seat, lumbar support, and then manual adjustment to lift it up and down. As I say, you've got electric windows all round here, electric mirror adjustment, which is pretty standard for a car in this era. Automatic lights, fog lights, all the good stuff there. A little kind of storage bit there. You could probably put your sunglasses in if it was lined with fuzzy stuff, but that's not too bad. Door bin's a little bit short and kind of in terms of the depth. It's not too deep, as you can see. You really struggle to put a bottle or something in there. A little bit narrow. Very unusual design, especially for an SUV. And the headlining, typical Vauxhall fare. No kind of fun bells or whistles. And there's your S button and all your lighting up here. And of course, just kind of standard lighting. In the back of the car, again, cheap lot plastics continue throughout the cabin. Seating for 3, but probably Put the armrest down, a little bit of cup holders there, and ideal for two, so if you've got a family of four, perfect car. Good size out in terms of view. Nice big bits of glass and greenhouse area. I like it when car makers give you a little bit of storage behind the front seats. It's ideal for when you're a kid carrying your iPad or map or books and all those kind of things on road trips. Again, we've got more leatherette in the middle here, and then that kind of woven fabric in the outer two seats. Headrests are obviously adjustable, and I quite like the shape of them, with a little bit of stitching there. Vauxhall done a little bit of interesting design features on the back, which is quite nice. And I quite like how this looks like a wee sad face. It's like a wee nose and wee eyes. Wee sad face. And again, door bins in the back, as you can see. A little bit better in the front, but not the deepest I've seen in the back of an SUV. But a nice big opening, and you're going to fit a child seat pretty easy in there if you look at those points there. Come in and slide it, so that's a good plus point as a family car. And with the seats folded, as you can see, even enough room for ladders, so that's pretty cool. So unfortunately, due to kind of technical issues, I've lost the driving footage and portions of the Grandland X, but I'm going to summarise for you what I thought when I drove the Grandland X. So driving experience isn't as well polished as many of its rivals. I think the Tiguan drives a bit better. Even the Peugeot 3008 that it's based on drives better in my opinion. I'd probably actually look at that if you were considering this. So out on the road, the Grandland X is pretty comfortable. Gear changes are pretty okay. Gear change and all that's pretty average, nothing to write home about. Driving experience pretty numb. You don't feel too much, but it is a big comfortable cruiser, and you really do feel that benefit of the SUV and this kind of thick tyres and a good suspension setup on the road. The diesel's going to be obviously good for motorway driving, and I think they do even do a plug-in hybrid version now, which is definitely probably the one to go for going forward, because these hybrids seem to be the way forward the government are pushing us into, just with lower CO2 and things like that. But in my experience, the diesel one, pretty okay. I think got about 40 odd miles to a gallon, which is again pretty average in this kind of classic car. And overall, I would maybe urge you to look at other competitors, especially the Peugeot 3008 that's based on. I think that's a stellar car in comparison to the Grandland X. I just don't feel it's as well kind of polished and finished off, and it's just not got any quirky features as well. The Vauxhall does a fine job, and it's just kind of average overall, whereas the Peugeot's got that little bit of something. And obviously, if you want something a bit more with that German prestige and brand, go for the Volkswagen, because again, I quite like them and they drive quite well and solidly. So for anybody wondering, the Grandland X varies in price quite significantly. The base one starts off just over £24,000, and it jumps all the way over to just above £46,000 for the top end one, which kind of competes with right in the centre of like Audi Q5, Mercedes GLC and BMW X3. So when you get into that kind of price category, you're really going to be comparing more luxurious and premium car brands. And that's maybe when it's a less of a proposition to go for the Vauxhall at that price range. But in the lower end, definitely, Vauxhall is a good car to go for, just not a great car. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video on the Grandland X. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to Cars of Glasgow below. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Cars of Glasgow. And I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.